Blizzard, you deserve all the hate that's coming at you in this one. You know, I have been sitting here for, it feels like an hour now, wondering how I'm going to tackle the topic of this video, the lawsuit that was filed against Activision Blizzard in California. And I figured the best way would be to start with the date you're seeing on the screen, July 9th, 2008, when the merger took place between Activision and Blizzard, and they became one. Seems like ever since that date took place, there have been doubts in many of the consumers' minds that this was not a good idea. And you know, Activision has all the money behind it to start funding all these projects and stuff, but it comes along with some baggage too, where they don't care about the consumer. They just care about the monies. That's all they care about. That's all they want. So this is a date that tore a lot of fans' hearts out when they saw this happen. This is actually the year that I jumped on board Blizzard. So I was just a Blizzard newbie. I just hopped on at the end of the Burning Crusade, getting into Wrath of the Lich King. Then it took off from there. Loved some Diablo. Really loved and had a good time with their games still. But you can tell how their games have become to just monetize toward the greed of themselves and just cash out on themselves. And it looks like it has been to the extreme discrimination of their employees, as will be stated into the lawsuit that we're going to look into. Now, I'll apologize in this video if there are a bunch of cuts or anything in it. I'd like to do it all in one take, but sometimes I get a little bit too riled up and it gets me flustered and I can't focus and talk about the topic I want to talk about. But so sorry if that happens, but again, we're just going to dive right into it here. Again, 2008, when that merger took place, it seems to be the downfall of what was once a great company. You know, I didn't have any experience with Blizzard games before that. I hopped on right before Wrath of the Lich King was coming out with World of Warcraft. And then soon after that, Diablo 3, Hearthstone, Overwatch. I've enjoyed a great deal of their games. And then you have the Activision side. Like, I've loved playing Call of Duty ever since it came out with Modern Warfare. Back on the Xbox 360. I've had many great nights, many hours spent playing their games. But again, we know Activision, it's all about that money. It's all about that money for them. They've already been in the news in the past from controversy they made, especially with the Blitzchung Hearthstone controversy when the Hong Kong protests were going down and they banned this professional Hearthstone player because of his views on that situation. They fired 2 casters because of their opinions on the protests, which who could not want to side with the protesters in this case? But no, they're about the money and keeping China happy. So they went ahead and punished him for it. But after hearing how stupid of an idea this was from Congress itself and other people, they decided, you know what? Let's not punish him as bad as we're still going to punish him, just not as bad as we were. So Blizzard has a history of this stuff, and it's just getting worse now, especially with these lawsuits coming out. Activision Blizzard sued over the frat boy culture and harassment. Video game giant Activision Blizzard, maker of games including World of Warcraft, Diablo, fosters a frat boy culture in which female employees are subjected to constant sexual harassment, unequal pay, and retaliation, according to a lawsuit filed by the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing. There's been a 2-year investigation going on against these discriminated female employees, including compensation, assignment, promotion, termination. Company leadership consistently failed to take steps to prevent discrimination, harassment, and retaliation. Now, I don't want to go through reading all this, but as I scrolled through and read some of this further down, just seeing some of the things that are taking place over at the culture, one of these things here really bothered me. Agency alleges male employees play video games during their workday while debating responsibilities to female employees engaging in sexual banter and joke openly about rape. Joking about rape. Female employees allege being held back from promotions because of the possibility that they might become pregnant, being criticized for leaving to pick up their children from daycare. and being kicked out of lactation rooms so male colleagues could use the room for meetings, the complaint says. Now, even though the women at Blizzard, it seems like in particular, are going through heavy deals of discrimination over in the workplace, this actually touches every workplace environment, not just because of discrimination, but because of just the undervalued employee. And I think anyone can relate to that. It just seems like many of their employees there are just undervalued. We saw that when Activision reported having their best earnings years ever. Was it last year, maybe the year before? They had their best earnings ever. And then they let go of hundreds of employees. Hundreds of them just gone. Even after having your best year ever, after making all that money, you canned hundreds of them. So they mean so much to you. We are just spokes in the wheels to a lot of companies. And it's the same thing for my company. My company pays me well. They give me good benefits. I'm very thankful for all that. I'm thankful to have a job. But when it comes down to happiness at your job and wanting to make changes, like people at Blizzard want to make changes, the companies just don't care. The higher ups do not listen. And I know that from firsthand experience from where I'm at now. If anyone there is watching this video, I don't care because I'm going to be gone from it here in a couple months anyways. So it doesn't bother me one bit. And if anything, maybe it can help promote change. More than likely it won't. It seems like something has to finally happen that tips a company over the edge to finally make a change. And even if this starts getting them in the right direction, we know they're letting out all their little pressers now about how we're going to change. We're going to listen to you now. We didn't listen to you before, but now we're going to do it. You mean something to us now. It could all be a bunch of crap until they actually do something. And will they actually do something? You never know. Because I've heard it for years at other jobs, at the job I'm at now. They want to hear our complaints. What can we do to make work better? How can we get it so you're not working 12-hour days, 3 out of your 6 days a week? Or why are you working 6 days in a row? Things like this. For example, like I'm saying, my job. We have crazy working hours there. We have a huge workforce. But without us, my department, our area, the place literally has to close down. So if our bodies aren't there for that facility, it has to shut down. It cannot stay open. So you would think, hey, it should be important to keep our worker happy. So they would want to stay here, not walk out on us, so we won't have to shut down. But it seems like the only way to try to do that is like, here's some money. We're going to pay you a good salary to do this. Don't complain. Deal with it. I just don't think that's the mentality to have. You should not have that as leadership or company. You should want your employee to be happy. And money's not the only thing that makes someone happy. Time with my family is very important to me. It's one of the bigger reasons why I'm leaving where I'm at now, is because I only have so much time with my family and time to spend with them. And I don't want work taking that away. Even though it provides a good life for them, I'm not getting to be a part of that life, and I want to be a part of it. So I'm heading out of there. And if they would listen to the employee and make the changes that we are requesting from them, they wouldn't have this issue. One of the big issues at my place is the scheduling. They can't get the scheduling right to help the worker. So we've said, hey, you change the schedule, it'll benefit everybody, and we'll be good to go. No, 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 no. We don't care. We're going to leave it the same. You're still going to work your 12-hour weekends. And if you haven't worked enough, guess what? We're going to draft you on your day off, so you don't get a day off. You get to work here and not get to see your family on your day off, while all the higher-ups get to enjoy the benefits of being with their families at cookouts, being with their families on their birthdays, and enjoying the holidays. We don't get that as the grunts. Kind of how it's divided, like the heads and CEOs of Blizzard, the presidents, Jay Allen, they're all sitting there on 4th of July getting to be with their families, on Christmas getting to be with their families, Thanksgiving, while the grunts, us, the programmers, the developers, sound engineers, level designers, all of us. We're the grunts who get to carry the load and do all the work. That's what we do. You know, I accepted that in life, that, you know what, I wasn't born with the talents or the skills to be the head of anything. I am a grunt, so I've accepted that. But that doesn't mean you can't mistreat you shouldn't mistreat your grunts. They are the most important part of your company. Without them, your company falls apart. Just like ours. Like I said, my department, if one or two of us leaves, it's nothing. We just get shoved out and replaced. That's all we are. Just a cog in the little spoke in the wheel. We'll get replaced. But collectively, if 20 of us left at the same time, 30 of us left, it'd be forced to shut down. It cannot function without us. And it's the same for a game company. If you don't keep your employees happy and you mistreat them, your company will fail. It will fall apart. I don't care how big you are, how many millions you're worth. Your company's not going to last, because you can't last without those grunts to help make your product. Of course, you might hire a new one who will fill the void. Then they'll become unhappy. But why would you want to fester an unhappy environment, an unhappy culture? It makes no sense to me. Man, if I was a CEO or a leader somewhere, the main goal would be to keep my worker happy, keep the employee happy. Who would want a disgruntled, unhappy employee? Because it only translates into the work. Happy worker, happy work. Translates well. You get a better product. It just boggles me why any of this would happen. And seeing that, it doesn't surprise me that this was happening at Activision Blizzard. And it was just keeping hushed for so long. I'm sure many people came with complaints that were unanswered. And like I said, you're getting all the statements now about how we should have listened, how we should have changed our ways. But it doesn't matter now. It's come out. And we've even had articles here where the workers are going to walk out. Like, they want to walk out. They have started this petition here. They sign where they're going to walk out of work for the day, which, you know, workers will meet outside Blizzard's main campus in Irvine, California on 10 a.m. Pacific time, with a virtual protest taking place on social media for those who can't attend in person, starting at 9 a.m. So they're starting this walkout. Can this help anything? Is this just going to be a one-day walkout for a couple hours? Are they walking out until they start seeing changes made? I don't know. I don't know the details of it. And I mean, it's going to get attention, but can that attention actually fester some change? And we see more further down. We know people across the company have been complaining about these issues for decades. This has been taking place for a while. Who have made allegations and have not been listened to. Software engineer who has more than 300 employees involved in organizing the protest. Lawsuit in response to the match that lit the power. Okay. We value diversity and strive to foster a workplace that offers inclusivity for everyone, a spokesperson for Activision Blizzard said in a statement responding to the lawsuit. There is no place in our company or industry or any industry for sexual misconduct or harassment of any kind, which is true. But you haven't shown it at your company, according to the lawsuit. So it'll be interesting to see how this unfolds. I don't know if they get sued and what happens, who gets rewarded. I don't know anything about that. I don't know if the employees who filed it, if there's compensation that gets made or what. I don't know what happens. All I know is this has to change, not only at Blizzard, but at other companies, like I said, mine in general. Not just in particular to the harassment of the employees sexually, but I think employees just get mistreated everywhere. I'm sure everyone has a story about it, how just the company does not care. It's incredible. The best place I've worked at personally, where it seemed like my manager and everyone truly cared about me, was Blockbuster Entertainment. I worked there. It's where I met my wife, believe it or not. We both worked there. I was working at one job back in 2004 when I was like, you know what? I want to make some money on the side. So I went to Blockbuster to work there part-time. Loved it there. My manager cared for me. She was always trying to get me promotions and seeing what was best for us. If something happened where we were sick or couldn't make it, it was fine. She would jump in to cover the rounds or anything. She'd do what she would have to do. And even the management above her would find ways to reward us as employees if we did a good job. Like if I did good on sales or promotions, I got bonuses for doing little to no effort, just for doing my job. And I felt like they really cared. Unfortunately, they went out of business. You know, the turns of the tides and how things are going now digitally. Blockbuster didn't make it. They do got that one store left, but man, I loved working there. But this wasn't something you could make a living off of. But they cared. And since then, that's been the only one where I saw like, man, management really does care about the value of their employees. So shout outs to you, Blockbuster, for doing that for me back then. But ever since then, kind of been downhill. So hopefully you guys aren't going through the same thing at your workplace. And hopefully there's just a way to make changes if you can. So I really don't know how to end this. I mean, it's been a weird one to talk about anyway, but I just felt like I should, just like I said, since I'm a big fan of Blizzard games. So let me know what you guys think. Are you going to protest by not buying the games? You know, in a way, that's the only way these workers still get to feed their families and get paid, is if we buy the product they make and help build. You know, the grunts need to be compensated somehow, and if we don't purchase the games, they're not going to be compensated. So it puts the consumer in a tight place. So let me know what you decide, what you're going to do, and your thoughts and opinions on this whole situation. So till the next one, see you then.